Throughout the hundreds of thousands of years that we humans have existed, there have been many questions that we have asked ourselves which may forever remain unanswered. So in today's video we are going to discuss 5 of the deepest questions about reality which may forever remain unanswered. Number 5. Is the universe infinite? The question of the size of the universe beyond the observable universe is a question that has plagued the minds of many scientists since first observing the observable universe. What is beyond this distance? Is it finite or infinite? When I ponder on the question of what is beyond the observable universe, I ask myself, how would the universe just stop existing? Is there just a barrier that stops you leaving? Or is the universe an unfathomably large loop? The most likely option of these two would be that the universe is a loop, but what exists outside of this loop? These questions are what make me believe that we live in an infinite universe. There are no indications that the universe would just stop expanding at a certain distance, as the expansion of the universe has been speeding up over time, and even if it did stop expanding, it is likely that the universe would retract to its original pinhead size before the Big Bang, and the process would repeat again and again for all of eternity. I believe that the unobservable universe is more of the same, and that more stars and galaxies will continue to form across space and time as the universe continues to expand infinitely. For us to determine whether the universe is infinite or not, we will have to advance our technology much further than we already have. If we compare our civilization to the Kardashev scale, we are at 0.7 on the scale. We have not quite mastered the resources on planet Earth. For us to have complete knowledge of the universe, we would have to be a Kardashev Type 4 civilization or above. This would be a civilization that is using all of the stars in the universe for their energy and resources. Who is to say that our species will ever reach these heights of technological advancements? If the Great Filter is to be believed, then the reason for the lack of evidence for alien life in the universe is because all civilizations either end up killing themselves off or dying from natural events before becoming a full-fledged galaxy-wide spanning civilization. So unfortunately, for us humans, we may never fully understand the nature of the universe and whether the reality we live in is infinite or not. We can never know what advancements are around the corner for our species, so all we can do is sit back and see what new information we can learn about the universe. Number 4. What was before the Big Bang? Since the discovery of the Big Bang, we have wondered why and how exactly our universe came into existence. It is very strange to think that the expansion of space started from a random occurrence that appeared from nothing. Perhaps there are external forces that caused the Big Bang and the creation of the universe. Some examples of what these potential external factors could be are God causing the start of the universe, or similarly, a future civilization creating a computer simulation, and for the sake of comparison, we will look into the theory that the Big Bang was set off by the end of a different universe. While it is hard to determine through concrete evidence what set off the Big Bang, we can speculate. For individuals that believe in religion or spirituality, as well as the belief that we live in a simulated reality, the knowledge that the universe exploded into existence from essentially nothing can somewhat confirm in their eyes that the universe was created by something. We can never truly know how likely it is that the universe was created, or whether it happened to come into existence through other means. Sadly, the light from the early stages of the universe is hard for us to see and decipher exactly what was occurring during the time of the Big Bang and what happened shortly after. And, as well, the older the universe gets, the harder the light will be to see from all of those years ago. So unless backwards time travel is discovered in the future, it seems very unlikely that we will ever truly understand the way in which our universe came into existence. There is one theory that suggests that the universe currently exists in a false vacuum state, and that when the universe switches to its true stable state, the universe will fundamentally change. All of the forces of nature and the laws of physics will completely change, ripping our current universe apart and fashioning a new one. Perhaps this was what caused the Big Bang, or we could be experiencing a big crunch where the expansion of the universe halts and collapses in on itself, potentially causing another Big Bang. There may be other means which may help us to discover more answers about the nature of reality, but for now we are stuck with the limited information that we have to come to our own conclusions on what happened for the universe to come into existence. Let's hope that we can learn more about this subject before our species potentially goes extinct and the burning question of how exactly the universe began fades away with the extinction of our species. Number 3. What happens after death? The question of what happens after a person dies has been on the mind of humans for our entire existence as Homo sapiens. We, unlike most other species on this planet, have the ability to analyse certain issues we have found throughout our species' lifetime and speculate on the nature of the unknown. The most prominent of these questions of course being what happens after death. Does one cease to exist, or is there some form of afterlife? Or do we exist as a sort of consciousness that cannot cease to exist and exists across the infinite multiverse? Many cultures have had their own speculations on what happens after death. The Greeks had their religions, the Egyptians had theirs, as did the Vikings, and Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, Hindus, Jews, spiritual people, and countless other cultures throughout human history. All have had their own interpretations on the nature of reality and what happens upon death. Many religions explain that life is a sort of test. Abrahamic religions tend to believe in a heaven and hell, where people go once they are judged by God on their good and bad deeds throughout their lives. On the contrary, we have a religion like Buddhism, where Buddhists believe that a person is stuck in an eternal loop of reincarnation until in one life the spirit reaches nirvana, which is essentially a state of peace and happiness. There of course is the opposite belief to religion and spiritualism, that being that there is nothing after death and one just ceases to exist. The people who believe in this are of course known as atheists. Atheists have many differing worldviews and views on how the nature of reality works, as is the same with religion in that aspect. One atheist may believe that there is nothing after death, but another may believe that they continue to exist through quantum immortality, where one's consciousness transfers realities through an infinite universe when a person dies. It is unlikely that living humans will ever know whether there is an afterlife or not, as it is an experience that can only be achieved through death. But as with any entry on this list, nothing is set in stone, and we may uncover more evidence about the nature of our existence and begin to have a greater understanding on whether there is an afterlife or not. Personally, I am a spiritual person. What do you all believe in? Let me know in the comments down below. While many of us may have differing views, we can all agree that the universe is one strange place. Number 2. How did life begin? The question of how life became present on Earth is a question which still baffles scientists to this day. There have been many theories proposed by the scientists who are perplexed by the question regarding the origins of life. One theory, which has quite a high likelihood of being possible, is that of panspermia. Panspermia proposes that life exists throughout the universe and is being distributed by space dust, meteoroids, comets, as well as discarded spacecrafts carrying unintended contaminations of microbes. This solution to the origin of life on the planet seems very plausible, but when finding the answer to this question, many more open up. For example, how did life originate in the universe, not just on this planet? There have also been other hypotheses proposed by people over the years that many consider as outlandish, but in science we must look at all avenues of discussion regarding a subject so we can gain a greater understanding of the subject we are speculating on, no matter how unlikely the claim may sound. One of these hypotheses being that life may have been seeded on the planet by an advanced ancient alien civilization. In this hypothetical scenario, we must speculate on how we may act in the future if we are a spacefaring advanced civilization, as we are the only comparative evidence that we have at this current moment in history to an alien civilization. If in the future we discover that life is rare in the universe, or that we are completely and utterly alone, it does not seem too far out of the realm of possibility that we may decide to seed life in the universe. If it does happen that life on this planet was seeded by aliens, then we will be opened up to a whole new understanding of the universe that we did not have previously. The questions of the origins of life may forever remain a mystery, yet it is still fun to speculate on all of the different possibilities. Number 1. What exactly is consciousness? Our final question that may forever stay unanswered is one that perplexes me every day. That being consciousness and what the exact nature of it is. Is consciousness a result of the different functions of your brain, or is it something external which can tap into a different side of reality that we do not experience regularly? One of the most bizarre things that comes to our mind when discussing consciousness is that we have yet to find where it exists within our brain, which is very perplexing. Some scientists do believe that the cerebral cortex is the housing unit for consciousness. Other states of consciousness, if you experience them, are very strange experiences. For example, when you are lucid dreaming, you are conscious of your subconscious and become aware that you are in a dream. The experience of lucid dreaming is incredibly hard to describe, and to anyone who has never experienced it before, I recommend practicing. There are also out-of-body experiences or near-death experiences where people see themselves from a third-person perspective. Many believe that these experiences are a glimpse at the spiritual nature of the universe. I again myself have had an out-of-body experience, and they are very different to lucid dreaming, and are very, very profound experiences. We have discussed the possibility that one's consciousness may act as a bridge to the spiritual realm, but we also must discuss the very real possibility that consciousness may be an illusion of the brain and is just another process. Even if consciousness is just another process of the brain, that still does not describe how we eventually reached a state of self-awareness which would propel our species onto a trajectory where we are now a technologically advanced society. What do you believe in about the nature of consciousness? I am excited to hear what you all have to say regarding this topic. Let's hope that one day we have a greater understanding about the nature of consciousness. Well, that is it. Thank you very much everybody for sticking by and watching this video. I really appreciate it. Please make sure to like the video and subscribe and turn on the notification bells to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel. Please check out the playlist on screen now to check out the rest of the top 5 videos on the channel. And yes, stay awesome, have a wonderful day, and peace out my lovelies. Goodbye.